Welcome to the Barker Podcast Collection.
I suck, you suck, I suck at Call of Duty.
Welcome to the Not Playing podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and today I'm joined by
Marcus Hurley
and
Will.
So, join us today on the release date of Guardians of the Galaxy, which I'm not allowed to play yet, or not allowed to play tonight because we're recording this. But we will get to it in detail soon enough. But yeah, I managed about 45 minutes of it, so I might have something to say about it later.
You'll also notice that Rob's going to talk really fast in this recording to try and get it all out of the way so that he can then bugger off and go and play Guardians.
Yeah, I'm on 2 times speed tonight.
Anyway, news, nothing's happened. In games, Will's played some stuff, Marcus played some stuff. Thank you for listening. Goodbye!
That's it. Cool. We got a couple of bit of news stories just to warm up on, and then we've just got games because the nights are drawing in, and it is that time of year once again where the games actually come out. Even with the year we've had,
Here's that
there still seems to be some
wonderful
releases.
time of the year.
So, yeah, a bit of news that recently landed, very recently, just yesterday in fact, was the announcement that Sir Trevor McDonald will be taking over the role of Games Master from the late Sir Patrick Moore. This is for a new version of Games Master that's coming out. I think they're just doing like a few specials or something. They're just trying it out.
So it's probably worth pointing out to Americans and anyone under the age of 40 what Games Master is. Games Master was a TV series hosted by Dominic Diamond with a horribly badly animated semi-Robocop headed astronomer playing the Games Master. And what would happen is you had Dominic Diamond presenting, and they would talk about video games, and it was on ITV or Channel 4 or something, and they would just talk through games, they'd walk through things, and it's so far out of date, the former format, because you have YouTubers and you have walkthroughs and you have everything on the internet. And if it's a magazine show about games with the odd feature, it could be actually quite good. But Games Master was originally Games Master, there'd be this child would come on and they would say, Games Master, how do you defeat the villain in Final Fantasy 3? And he would say, well, you need to get lots of these potions and switch to high magic defense weapons. And Sir Patrick Moore, bless him, had no idea what he was saying. No. Because it wasn't his thing. And now they've got Sir Trevor McDonald doing it, another highly respected voice, but I don't know what questions he's going to be asked. But I also do know one thing, is that I probably will never watch it because I don't watch telly.
Yeah, that's true. They're doing 3 60-minute episodes, and it's going to focus on celebrities battling each other.
Of course it is.
It's going to be airing on E4's YouTube
show.
channel, and then it will go on E4. I didn't even know E4 was a thing anymore.
Yeah.
I just use the app.
Yeah, I use just the on-demand, but yes, I suppose if people watch telly, then so it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, don't have an aerial.
The presenter is going to be Robert Florence, who apparently is a comedian who is Scottish. So
fair enough.
I'm not familiar. It's been off the air for 23 years now, which,
Holy cow.
That's quite a long time. Did you watch Games Master, Marcus, back in the day?
I lived by it. To be honest, I would say basically Games Master was the precursor to everything YouTube.
Yeah,
because it had the
with regards to gaming channels,
codes, and it had the it had the people that were. It had the things where you would watch people do these challenges, and there'd be groups of people trying to complete the slide part of Mario 64, where you have to slide off, collect all the coins without falling off and dying. And I remember there was one guy who touted himself as the self-proclaimed best gamer in the UK, and he was kind of like, I can't remember his name, but he was like an Axl Rose kind of dressed wannabe.
Oh, good
and
God.
he fell off the slide and he got beshamed for all eternity. His columns stopped in gaming magazines. He was shunned by kids in the street. It was glorious. Those were the days. That was the equivalent of a harsh YouTube comment.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, to be honest, I can see why they would pick Trevor McDonald, because I'm just thinking, Patrick Moore had a pretty unique voice. And in terms of voices on TV, Trevor McDonald's is kind of a similar pitch and intonation. I can see him kind of doing, you need to do the Konami cheat.
Also, he's like Patrick Moore. He's
exactly.
wicked.
Yeah, he's going to have no idea what he's doing as well, and that's going to make it amazing. Hopefully, he'll have some CG Gatling guns shooting down a seagull at some point as well. But yeah, I think it's mad that they're bringing it back, but they did bring Nightmare back a little while back.
Oh yeah, but you see, that was a genius idea. I miss Nightmare. Oh god, we could almost have an entire spin-off episode conversation.
Well,
yeah, it is.
That was a role-playing game played in real life.
So it was blue screens, but with prop rooms and blue screens, wasn't it? So you had one contestant. I was so desperate to be on Nightmare. There was nothing I wanted more. You had basically a team watching on the screen, and then had the one person in the dungeon. It was real life RP. It was LARPing. It was proper LARPing, right? And they'd have the green screens, and you would have someone with this helmet on, so they couldn't see all the blue screens, green screens, whatever. But they'd walk into a room, and the people they'd be essentially blind except for what was immediately in front of them. And you would have the rest of their team saying, "Take one step diagonally forward to the right. No, the other right. Oh, you're dead." Yeah. And that's how it went every time. And I think it was completed once. But yes, I mean
something.
I think escape room type challenges should bring back. I mean, I if there was an escape room type setup where we as a team could go and play Nightmare, I would absolutely yum that down. Anyway, sorry, we've kind of
No, it's all relevant. It's all relevant. It's in the now.
It's gaming.
But let's move on. Enough of that.
Yeah. Okay, then, so I'm not sure when that's out. Soon, I believe.
I reckon it'll be a Christmas thing.
That would feel...
just after.
No, we don't know when yet, according to that news story. Okay. Unless that's updated on this one, no. No, but soon. And, we'll see what that's like. So the only other news story I've got is that, I found it quite hilarious, and the only reason I wanted to include it was because a friend of mine, Vic, bought these faceplates. You know how the PlayStation 5 is basically like
ugly,
a bit weird looking. It's got that white sort of paper looking thing surround to it. So a company, a Canadian based company called D-Brand, went ahead and created these dark plates. They're just the black version of that, but it's not licensed by Sony. And they just went ahead with it going, sue us if you like. So they did. Because, pretty much, I think it was the night after when Vic got his. Yeah. I was like, I look into that tomorrow. And I woke up to him basically saying, too late. They've, So,
but I find it insane if Sony won't release them, and they won't release one apart from ugly glaring Eye of Sauron white, then why shouldn't people be enabled to pop some plates on it and do some cosmetic changes? I would get it if Sony sold them, but they're not. So let someone, right?
Yeah, I think it's they find it's a bit too soon. Because they've got the patent on the IP and stuff like that.
Actually, it's most likely Sony want a commission.
Exactly.
it's all going to be about the licensing, isn't it?
They're going to get bought by Sony, aren't they? And they're going to end up being an official.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, stranger things have happened.
Or maybe Sony needs to buy them before Microsoft does. Ha ha ha.
Could you imagine Microsoft selling
in
PlayStation plates?
Based purchase. Acquisition, rather.
Microsoft branded PlayStation face plates.
You've got little Xbox logos in there.
I would buy the shit out of them. Take my money.
That'd be amazing.
Even though I don't own a PlayStation 5, if they were priced right, I'd buy it.
if you look very closely in the light, it's got a 7-day Game Pass code.
I tell you what, I noticed for the first time. So I've got a PlayStation. I've got a PS4 Pro, sorry. And I was looking at it. I think it's just the angle it's at. I never noticed that it's got the little circle, square, triangle button impressions actually extruding from the side of the unit. I'd never actually noticed that it's actually got them coming off, the cosmetics on it, on that slightly angled brick slab. But yeah, I noticed the other day, I was quite surprised that there's a fairly pleasing, the 4 classic symbols from the controller are actually sitting proud out of the edge of the console, and I don't know if that's the same on the original. But
yeah, well, I still have the PS3 with the Spider-Man font. I quite like that. Everyone called it the George Foreman grill. I thought that was the prettiest looking PS3. It was just the size of a small building.
I think I dismantled one of those and put it under a grill to resolder some of the components. Apparently it was a well-known fix.
The joke is complete. Use a George Foreman grill to complete the George Foreman grill.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Oh, well, that's all quite amusing.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean,
okay, then.
Any other news kind of things? I'm sorry, at the point in time we're recording, there's a state of play due later this week, so I'm sure if there's anything interesting in there, we'll cover that on the next episode.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't remember anything tumultuous that's happened since we last recorded. Particularly nothing that's exciting me. No big new announcements or anything of things I care about, at least. So.
No.
I don't know if we mentioned Sony buying Bluepoint.
I can't. I know we've discussed that. So yeah, that's an interesting one. So Bluepoint have been doing a lot of their PC ports as well, and the upgrades and stuff. They don't appear to be making their own games, but they appear to be a real tech specialist development team.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
There's a returning rumour that Bloodborne 2 is now on the cards, because when they were bought, they were working on an original IP, not their own IP. An original IP, and it's all in the wording, and a couple of PC ports for another one. So this is something that keeps bouncing around every kind of 3 months, and it's always dismissed as bullshit. But I think with the success of Demon's Souls, and just the way that they work, and Sony have gone, I think we're going to see a lot more. I think they're going to be trusted to work on a sequel, because as cool as FromSoft are with their games, I think Bluepoint proved that they're familiar with the mechanics that work.
Yeah. Well, we've got Elden Ring coming out early next year. So From have clearly got their hands full. But yes, you're right. Bluepoint, from, again, it's a game I will never bother with, but the Dark Souls remake,
but
I
love the aesthetic. It's one of those things where I wish it was a movie so I could enjoy it without the fear and the frustration of playing.
Right. Sorry, one bit of news we did gloss over from the last Nintendo Direct is the new Super Mario movie, which glosses it very nicely, bearing in mind today, or the day we're recording, that the new Guardians of the Galaxy game came out, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Guardians of the Galaxy, Star-Lord is also the voice of Mario. How wonderful is that? How exciting is that?
Yeah, Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt
almost
is Mario.
As wonderful as
Perfect
Seth Rogen playing Donkey Kong.
And Jack Black. No, I thought Jack Black. No, Jack Black is Bowser.
Yeah.
That is going to be insane. That's going to be like.
I will watch that the moment it comes to Netflix or whatever.
Yeah. The moment it's generally available and doesn't require me to go anywhere.
I'll put it this way. I haven't got round to seeing the Bob Hoskins Mario film yet, so I don't know whether it will come before or after that.
You sweet summer child,
this one is
Will.
live action. It is animated, the new one.
That's kind of a shame, actually. I want to see a live action Bowser.
Well, it's certainly cool to have Jack Black.
Well, I'm suddenly wondering,
action.
Was there a live action Bowser in... You can't have a Mario film without Bowser.
Remember. I think he
Did
was
the Bob
just
Hoskins... And who played Bowser? Most importantly, I think this... I try not to click during these recordings too much, but I think I need to know if Bowser was in it.
What, in the original?
In the... Well,
I had it.
Yeah.
In the original Mario?
Yeah.
I'm already on it.
Okay, the Hoskins one, yeah?
Oh no, I don't think it had Bowser. It was King Koopa who was the baddie in that, played by Dennis Hopper, the late great Dennis Hopper. Oh no, Lance Henriksen was Bowser.
Holy shit!
Oh my god!
From Alien.
See, on paper, that makes as
rating
much sense
4.1
as this one. That makes as much sense casting-wise as this one.
Yeah, what the fuck is that about?
Lance
I
Henriksen
completely erased that from my memory.
And King Koopa as well.
God. Oh.
Yeah, in the new one, you've got Charlie Day is Luigi from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong. And Charles Martinet, who was Martinet.
He was a Game of Thrones, wasn't he?
No, he was the original Mario voice. So
I'm thinking Charles Dance, because they're both called Charles, and the rest sounds totally
They should
not
have
the
got
same.
Charles Dance as Bowser. That would have been quite cool. A nice little nod.
My head was clearly in the wrong place as you said that. I was just like, no, I'm going to fire up the wrong synapses.
While we're on the subject of video game movies, they did actually put out a trailer for the new Uncharted, which just looks like another film with Mark Wahlberg in it.
Yes, it's tied in, but totally, yeah.
Well, he was originally supposed to be playing Nathan Drake, but he aged out of the part, so he's now Sully. But he looks nothing like Sully. In my opinion, Sully should be someone like... yeah, I mean, even just a moustache. Like, have it as Mark Wahlberg. Just put on a fucking moustache and dye your hair grey. Like, just make some effort towards looking...
I'll be honest, Tom Holland doesn't look like Nathan Drake to me, even in the trailer. So, I mean, because they have these characters they've established. Now, it's not like... Even in MCU, they've picked actors that kind of really fit those comic book characters, and now to the point that in your head they're there. But the trouble is, the Nathan Drake we know has a very clear look. So, like with the Tomb Raider films, when they've gotten someone that at least kind of rocks the Lara Croft look... and there's a big difference between Angelina Jolie and, oh my goodness, I've forgotten her name, the lady in the recent Tomb Raider film.
Yeah, I know.
Alicia Vikander.
That sounds about right, yeah. But they both at least kind of rock the look a bit, facial structure-wise, with the angular vibe going on. But I'm sorry, Tom Holland does not look like Nathan Drake. He looks like Tom Holland.
Yeah. But I can see the reason for them doing that. One, he's already done business with Sony because of Spider-Man.
Yep.
And also, I can see the logic of them casting. It's very optimistic, given the quality of the trailer, but I can see them going for a younger version so that they can keep making films with him before he ages out of the role.
Same with Matt Damon, arguably, but... or maybe it's to appeal to a younger audience. They don't want mature heroes.
Yeah, I just think you need someone a bit more rugged. They did do a fan movie with Nathan Fillion, who Drake is clearly based on.
I haven't watched again because, as I say, I don't watch telly, including fan movies.
Actually.
But
when I heard about the trailer for this, it's really good.
Oh, Nathan Fillion for the casting in my head is Nathan Drake. There's something in the face shape, the behaviour, the way he carries himself.
It's on
YouTube.
If you look at him it's only about 20 minutes long.
Let's face it, Firefly, Nathan Fillion was Nathan Drake in space. I mean, there's no doubting that. So, you know.
Yeah, check it out. If you do... if you Google Uncharted live-action fan film 2018, it's 15 minutes long. Yeah. And, I mean, I'm looking at the still here, and it's like, why is that not a thing? Yeah. Why is that not an hour and a half long?
Yeah, I forgot I was watching a fan film at one point.
And they even use, like, video game camera angles, so it's a bit like John Wick.
Well, although it's a fan film, the point where the fan film is able to get Nathan Fillion in suggests that it's more than, like... couple of mates fucking around in the garage, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think it might. I think behind the scenes there might have been someone with a bit of cash at least.
There are some higher quality fan films though. You know, you could have experience in filming and still do it as a passion project.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Nathan Fillion may or may not have been paid.
Will be up for that because he's a big, massive geek. So he's just
Also, I don't think he's been in that much recently that I'm aware of. But then again, I don't know if I mentioned that I don't watch telly.
He does a lot of telly, Will, which you don't watch.
Yeah, exactly that. The funny thing is I don't really watch films either, so...
No.
But he pops up in a lot of...
He's a TV star more than a
There's a reason
star.
I don't join you guys in not watching.
Yeah. But he does a lot of voiceover stuff, and he's been in a couple of the Marvel movies.
Oh, okay.
There's a couple of voiceover
Oh,
characters.
he was in the new Suicide Squad for a bit.
I will actually watch that at some point. That's just come on to one of the many services I pay for, I think. Although it might be Prime and therefore I still need to pay more money for it, but actually I've been told that's really good. But wrong podcast.
It's on premium VOD at the moment.
Although
and it's well worth a look. It absolutely tanked at the box office apparently because of that.
Because of the premium one,
so
previous one. What I would say, actually, sorry, it's worth just pointing out there was another bit, again, because it's been a little while since we recorded, probably 6 weeks since the last one we did or so. There was a DC thing where they've confirmed that both Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and Arkham whatever's Gotham Knights, that's the bunny, are expected out next year. So, and if they're both expected out next year and they're not planning to cannibalise each other's sales, we're probably going to see one in probably Q2 and one in Q4 would be my gut instinct until the inevitable delay is announced, because now they put dates to them, they can delay them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, obviously, and everything must be delayed.
And you can't delay a thing until you've thrown a date against it in the first place. So the first stage of delay is to set.
Yeah, someone was saying about something being delayed, and I was like, didn't even have a date. Like, unbelievable. I think if you just give it a year, that doesn't count. Yeah. But anyway.
But we will say. But actually, it's the Suicide Squad one where it sounds like a 4-player co-op shooter. That's going to have to do something seriously exceptional to interest me. But Gotham Knights, or whatever it's called, like
they're online shooters.
No, Gotham Knights. It feels like it's, my understanding, is the new Arkham. It's the new Batman game, but without Batman.
Yeah, it's drop out co-op Batman.
Yeah. But like with Far Cry, you can do drop-in, drop-out co-op. So the new Far Cry game, which we'll move on to shortly, you can play the entire game in co-op, but you can also play the entire thing single-player. It's an exceptional single-player experience. That's what I'm expecting, is that you can partner up, but you don't need to. So it's a game you can do, and it's like a film you can watch on your own or watch with a mate. It's a game you can play on your own or play with a mate, and you'll still enjoy it. Yeah. And that's what I'm liking. So we will see on that.
Cool. All right. The only thing I wanted to mention while we were talking about PC ports is that they announced a date for the God of War PC port, which isn't being handled by Bluepoint, which is why it kind of caught my attention. And I had it just here a minute ago who was actually doing it, but I've been surfing about like an idiot and scrolled past it.
Oh, it was early next year, right?
Yeah, it's it was a different. It's not because I was wondering, is that Bluepoint that are doing that? But they've actually farmed it out to Jetpack Interactive, who oversaw the God of War PC remake, and I think some people are very pleased.
I'm sorry, hang on.
What did I say?
God of War, and we're talking about God of War.
No,
so if it's a different, previous, older God of War, we kind of need to.
No, I meant Dark Souls.
Right. So, because Bluepoint did the upgrade to PS5, the remake, but the port was then these guys whose name clearly is deeply memorable.
Yeah.
But it's worth pointing out what Sony are doing here, because it's only their older games they're shifting across to PC, but they also, like Horizon Zero Dawn came around the announcement of a new Horizon game, they then get the older one out on PC, because their sales are low value now, so they port it across to PC, allow PC gamers to get it, then they announce that there's another game coming out, and they make it very clear that you can play it on PC. It'll probably come there in a couple of years' time, no guarantees, but if you liked this first one, which we're letting you play on PC, why didn't you come and buy a PlayStation, and you'll be able to play it on our thingy? They're being quite clever about it. They're playing a very different game to Microsoft, because frankly they don't have unlimited money, but I'm finding it psychologically fascinating.
Yeah, it's completely different styles, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean the PCs, I saw some article with the guy going, "Oh, the console wars are over, PC won." I'm like, yeah, if it came out 4 years ago,
that's what
maybe.
The PC Master Race have been claiming every year for the last couple of decades, frankly.
Yeah, but it does have. ultra wide monitor support. So if you've got one of those ridiculous wraparound monitors, you'll be able to sort of have peripheral vision.
And that's
around
cool.
you.
And it's good that it supports all of that stuff, but an awful lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Awful lot of people, whether it's their PlayStation or their PC, if they're into gaming, they chuck it on their telly or something the shape of a telly. It's great that it supports additional things, but the main optimization is definitely going to be telly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's our free roaming around news section. Let's get into some games, I reckon, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
So I think we'll lead with Far Cry 3, Will, since you've been playing a few hours of that.
I mean, I platinumed that about
Sorry,
7
Far
years
Cry,
ago.
Did I say Far?
Yes, you did.
Did I say Far Cry 3?
You did.
Oh, fuck's sake, I really am losing my shit, man. Far Cry 6, my God.
It's like Far Cry 3, but doubled. Raw!
That's the Far Cry 3.
And
Yeah.
a much
So-
further cry.
Much further cry. Apparently some people...
Oh, if we did episode titles.
Yeah. I think the reason I mentioned Far Cry 3 is because there's talk of a remake of that, or the PC community are like sort of like championing them to do like a remaster or something.
It's been
But,
remastered ages ago. They would need to remake it. At the end of the day, the engine's out there. The Far Cry arcade capability, oddly enough, I didn't see it in 6. But if someone wants to go and build it, it's there. The toys are there using the Far Cry 5 kit. There's... All right, let me talk about my history with Far Cry. I bought the first one, didn't enjoy it, never played the second one, got the third one on PlayStation Plus, had a bloody lovely time. And I've played every single Far Cry since. The only one I haven't finished was the spin-off from Far Cry 4, which was Far Cry Primal. Just didn't float my boat. So I like my Far Cry games. I am at about 75% completion, about 40 hours in now. So I'm having a nice time. I haven't finished it. And I'm taking my time. I'm mopping up all of the story missions because all of the stories are fun. This isn't a 120-hour marathon like you get with the Assassin's Creed. This is a tidy, could probably mainline it, ignore a few bits and pieces, not polish up the map. I think you could probably do everything in under 60 hours, and I mean all of it. But I think you could also, if you're fairly comfortable just mainlining it, particularly if you drop it, I'm playing on there's two difficulty settings, there's normal and easy. I think if you played it on easy, you could smash through it in under 30 hours, just doing the bits you want to. So no problems there. The biggest change in a way, obviously every Far Cry game has a setting. The idea is it's an open world first person shooter. But every Far Cry game is set somewhere, so I can't remember where one was, some tropical island. Number 2 was somewhere out in Africa. Number 3 was... Actually, I can't remember where that was. I think it was sort of the Pacific Islands. 4 was somewhere near Nepal. Number 5 was set in deep South America. This one is set in a place that is inspired by Cuba, is best to say. South American dictatorship.
This is South America. You mean like the deep south of America was Far Cry 5?
Sorry, deep
Yeah.
southern USA. Yeehaw!
Yeah.
Jim Bob Gumbo, testicle, bull testicle eating festivals, all of that good stuff. Whereas this one is very much in South America. Now, the big thing for me is in Far Cry 3, the protagonist had a bit of voicing, but really you played this shell of a character who said a few words. What we have in 6 is a move to a far more cinematic vibe, where we have Danny Rojas, and Danny is a fully voiced character, male or female, fully fleshed out, and I have to say, I'm playing female Danny, and that accent is absolutely magical. I can listen to her talk all day. Reminds me of Penelope Cruz, and the that Hispanic, Southern American, beautiful, butter smooth accent. I'm sure the male one's voiced as well, but I could listen to this all day long. The gunplay's as fun as every time. I'm quite late in the game. I've got a really high-powered silent sniper rifle. If I get my shot right, I can shoot through the bulletproof bulletproof plexiglass of a helicopter, take the pilot out with a headshot and watch it spiral down and crash. You only get animal companions on this, but I've spent some time with the dog Boom Boom, who can go and sniff out enemies and will bring you back ammunition like a proper good boy. Or you can get this black mystical panther thing, that's an incredible stealth killer. Or you can get this insane cockerel with a studded leather necklace who just goes berserk and murders everything it can. You can get a pet crocodile. It's just stupid and wonderful.
It's the usual madness, isn't
it? It's pure chaos. So it's got this message about the dictatorships, and the whole idea is the what's his name? Giancarlo Esposito, or whatever his name is.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, him. From Breaking Bad, apparently, which I didn't watch because it was on telly. He's fantastic. All of the voice acting is fantastic. The story has really been brought into itself, which is quite unusual for a Far Cry game. I'm having a lovely time. It's, as I say, it's fully co-op throughout, which I am hoping I'll get an opportunity to do, because I think taking out some of these bases co-op is going to be absolutely rocking. The DLC I'm looking forward to, they've tweaked weapon systems, they've removed the RPG skill tree things, and now they've replaced it with something different, like they do with the iterations of an Assassin's Creed, and it crashes, and my even more powerful rig than Rob's one can't run it with the HD texture pack, because bad optimization, but it still looks beautiful, and I don't care, and I'm having a lovely time. Buy it, play it, it's fun. Done.
Usual Far Cry madness and fun.
It's bonkers! I shoot helicopters. Oh, they've got tanks in this one. You can drive tanks around and proper fuck people up with tanks. Running people over in a tractor is also fun. You can now ride horses, a la Assassin's Creed. And if you time that right, you can jump your horse. I managed to jump my horse off a cliff, jump off the horse, hit the parachute, and the horse made a bit of a mess.
Does it?
You can
and
go
that's still
fishing.
in first person.
Yeah, it's all in. Yeah, the horse riding's in first person. It's done pretty well, actually. The island is huge, and actually, let me just go back and talk about the main quest. So what I quite like is you play your starter bit on a small island, and you're like, oh, this is a big old map. And just like in an awful lot of these games, you then zoom out and you realise the sheer scale. But what you've got is 3 regions, and you can do them in any order you like. And what you're trying to do is get your Libertad organisation, your guerrilla guys, to work with the guerrillas from the other 3 regions to then go up against the dictator in the capital. Now, I've not done that. I'm very close to it, but I've made friends, and you've got these fantastic characters and stories that you go through. 3 sets of it's almost 3 decent size 10 to 15 hour campaigns that you then do to then go to the end game. Or, well, apparently there's an end game after the end game. But it's a really well put together. I'm finding it is totally respectful of my time. It's me that's being disrespectful going treasure hunting. But yeah, doesn't feel... I was so fatigued at the end of the last Assassin's Creed, which is a game you could compare this to. Rob,
I'm fatigued and I'm still playing it.
Yes, but that's because you're broken inside, Rob. You're playing a game that you hate because you will not admit that you could just stop playing.
I know. Well, I could stop playing it, but then I wouldn't finish it.
Yep.
Ever.
Yes, you see. And what will happen?
Nothing.
Exactly. Anyway, I'm having a lovely time. So to Platinum Ghost of Tsushima, I think took me about 40 hours, to give you an idea of scale. It's bigger than that, but it's still not busy work. Although, actually, Ghost of Tsushima 2 is all I really want right now, because the swordplay was gorgeous on that. But yeah, I'm having a lovely time. I'm deliberately not rushing onto Guardians of the Galaxy, which is now out, because I will take my time and finish this. I reckon my run time will run to around the 50 hours mark. And then there's DLC coming that sounds really interesting. You get to revisit the baddies from the last 3 mainline Far Cry games, and you've got this, apparently it's a bit of a roguelike vibe, so you can just keep playing these things. So they've got this ongoing content, but they're not being disrespectful on the overall story. It's awesome.
I've just found Kotaku have done their ranking of all 10 Far Cry games.
Yeah, I
Are you
read that.
interested?
No, I read that, and I think it's bullshit because it's one person's opinion. And you know what? I don't care about people's opinions. Fuck them, particularly when they've got it wrong.
They put Far Cry 6 at 5.
Yeah, and they put Far Cry 2 at 1. And everyone knows, in the common opinion, is that Far Cry 3 is the best. I don't agree, and having played an awful lot of them, but this is just a person ordering what they like. It's not like there's any official voting system taking place. It's just someone's written an opinion piece for clickbait because there's a new Far Cry game out. Don't give them credit, Rob. I've clicked on it, you've clicked on it, we're feeding these people.
To be more precise, they've created a slideshow gallery to generate page impressions.
Additional clicks, yes, absolutely.
Sorry, too many years in media. Yeah, I'd say Far Cry 3 was probably my the high benchmark for the series, but I haven't played all of them.
Yeah, you haven't played 5 or 6 or New Dawn, which I actually,
2.
what I would play, Rob, if you fancy a dabble, but not too long. I mean, Far Cry New Dawn, for example, is its own complete story, but it's on 1/3 of the map of Far Cry 5, and you can do it and be done in 15 hours. It's a lovely first-person shooter experience and will make you decide if you're still interested.
Yeah, I mean, the problem I think when that game came out was it was because it was the year of the post-apocalyptic game.
It was, wasn't it?
And
Yes. Rage
there was about
2.
40 of them.
Wasteland 3. Yeah, it was all of that. No, I completely right. I had a lovely
Days
time.
Gone.
Days Gone, yes, I did that. Actually, I think I did that the following year, but you know.
Rage, I think Rage was out then.
Yeah. But
And
actually,
there was
I
a
enjoyed
game.
New Dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're all my sort of game because it wasn't just a post-apocalyptic game; it was the open world, a post-apocalyptic game. That's my
to
bag.
be more specific.
Yeah,
To be more specific. Oh, well, look, there's another game that you will like there.
well, that's
And
to
another
me,
one
it's
out
not a
the week
bad thing.
after.
Yeah. No, to me, that's not a bad thing. This year has been sparse on games, but then again, I've had a lot of work to do that hasn't involved playing computer games this year, so it's probably been a kindness.
This year's basically been playing the 2 games that came out at the end of last year for me, and a few other little indie things along the way.
Did you finish
that
Cyberpunk?
I didn't even know about.
You finished Cyberpunk,
Yes,
didn't you?
I did, yes.
You see,
Yes.
I gave up on that because I wasn't enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, let's not go there, but yeah, that's a long old story. But again, I'm a victim of my own. Yeah, I'm hoisted by my own petard.
We can save
once
those
again.
for the Game of the Year one, where we've got a bit more time.
I've got a feeling we
that's not
should
gonna
do
be
an
in the
alternative
conversation at
Game of the
all,
Year
either of them.
award
I
this
know,
year.
but it could be on dishonourable bastard mentions.
Yeah.
Or something.
Didn't come out this year.
Oh, that's true.
I think if we do a Game of the Year chat, it's going to... having only played about 3 games that came out this year, I can probably give you my top 3 games of the year. But I don't think it'll be that riveting a conversation.
I am actually at 12
That's
now.
all right. Marcus will find a way to shoehorn Monster... Oh, no, there was a Monster Hunter entry this year, so we can have Monster Hunter.
There fucking was.
I've got my 3 games already.
Yeah.
No, we're doing 10. I've done 12 already.
I'm going to do my top 15 games of the year. It's just some of them I can only give the names on because I haven't played them. But
You
talking
mean
of
you're just
games...
listing the games that came out this year?
Exactly. But working on games that have come out this year that people have played, I think, Marcus, you were going to mention a game you've been dabbling with.
I will do, yeah. I've been playing what's kind of considered the indie game, Aliens Fireteam Elite. Mixed reviews.
That's a hefty license for an indie game.
It is, but it's weird because immediately everyone kept comparing it to Alien Isolation, which I'm thinking they're completely different games.
Because
so I really
the
don't
first-
see
It was a
the
good
logic in
game.
that.
Because of the first 5 letters. But,
Yeah, probably.
yeah.
I think major publishers at the moment, I can speak for one that I work
Yeah.
for.
I mean,
That franchise, sorry, 1 second. That franchise had a high moment with Isolation, but was poisoned by Colonial Marines.
this goes
And so
some
therefore
way
no
to
one's
undo
wanted to
that.
touch it with a barge pole.
Yeah, this goes
So,
no, but seriously, this is a relatively low budget game. You can see where the money's gone in. There isn't any lip sync voice acting. There's voice acting, but it's very much kind of like going back in time a bit to PC games where you have the static model there, and the voice will be sort of playing over the top of it.
I'll be honest, Overwatch does that.
I don't mind
It's
because
pretty normal, yeah.
they've spent the money where it counts. The pulse rifle sounds, weapon sounds, on point.
Ooh,
Absolutely
that helps.
on point. The pulse rifle sounds
what you
amazing,
need.
as does the smart gun. Smart gun is amazing. It's got a slight auto lock-on feature to it as well. You've got 5 classes as well. So the smart gun is with Demolisher. So you've got Gunner, Demolisher, Technician, Doc, or Medic, I think it's Medic or Doc, and you've got Phalanx, which basically deploys like a riot shield. I've not gone into all of the classes and tried them out, but the feeling and the atmosphere of the game, it's nice.
Is it like a lot of these where you get, as you progress as this class, you get to unlock additional similar classy things?
You play each class, and it's kind of like the a bit like the Division and a lot of other things where you've got classes.
Yeah, Chivalry 2 I played earlier this year, actually. Sorry, which is one I forgot. That is on my list of games I've played this year. Yeah, Chivalry 2 is a similar thing. You hit people with the long sword enough, you get a different, funny, strangely bent long sword to hit them with for the next few games. It's that sort of thing.
So this is unlocking. You get sort of challenge cards as well. You can turn them off, but some of them are like you can also buy things. So you can pick up consumables. So they're like incendiary rounds, electric rounds, or stuff like that, which basically stun. And I should say that from the start, this is basically almost like a horde style shooter. You go in, and the
third
aliens.
person, right?
It's third person.
It's third person.
Yeah, you can roughly choose your character. Sort of like you create a character within. You've got a limited number of styles and stuff like that, but it's a lot of fun when you start getting into it. I mean, I played it on the one player quite a bit because I wanted to get a feel of it.
Yeah.
And you're going with the 2 bots around. I didn't bump the difficulty up because I wanted to get a feel for the actual game. And I thought if I die within 2 seconds, it's not really going to give me a proper look into how the game looks and feels. So I've been playing on casual, which sounds terrible, but I'm there for the atmosphere and the feeling of being a colonial marine. So I don't give a shit. And let me tell you this, it's even on casual, it's scary as fuck sometimes. You get rushed down. Like you're in the first mission, you basically dock in on to this refinery style thing, like in Isolation, to try and find a doctor that's gone missing, Hernica. And you go in through the thing and the atmosphere's there and you're walking along and like a panel will drop down from the ceiling. And because you've seen Alien and Aliens, you immediately start shitting yourself. And this happens like often. You'll get just bits just falling off and steam vents just going out and making the hiss noise, which sounds almost a bit Xenomorph-like. So if you're being a bit cautious, the first couple of times you played it, you're like, oh, that's a bit weird. And then you kind of, obviously, the more you've played the mission, you get used to it a bit more.
So you playing with people or bots? Or mix?
It's actually only 3-player.
Okay.
Which is, like I said, because the studio is essentially an indie studio, a total of 45 people in the entire company, including
That's pretty wicked. Yeah.
And that's why I bought it, because I looked at this game and I just went, I know the reviews are a bit Marmite, but I want them to do more. I want them to have more money. I want them to develop the game further. Yeah. I want them to release more things, get more cash, do lip sync, add an extra player in. Basically, they've done as much as they can with the money to get this out, and not in a crap way. And don't get me wrong, this is nothing like the Friday the 13th games and stuff like that, and the Predator Hunting Ground, where it's a little bit janky. I was surprised how good this looks. The only thing that looks a little weird is the switch weapon animation. But I'm thinking, if that took longer, with the amount of xenomorphs running at you, you quickly don't give a shit. But yeah, no, it has the atmosphere. It has the atmosphere where you're backing up, and you in the first mission, it's a bit like get to point A, try and find a person, hunker down. unlock this generator, booting up the power kind of thing, and then all this sort of stuff comes along, and then you have to, like, even the person's going, oh shit, there's another swarm coming, hunker down, light up your thing. You get consumables like sentry guns, so you can actually set up sentry guns, as in the special edition, and they've got 300 counters on them, and you see them going to work, and then when they run out, they self-destruct. And you can pick them up in crates along the way and stuff like that. You can choose not to use them, so you can keep them, so you can build a stack. So at the moment, I had 5 of them because I played through a couple of missions and didn't bother deploying them. So you keep them as items. Or you can go and purchase them before a mission kind of thing from the armory. You get a whole stack of different weapons as well. You get to upgrade your pulse rifle with different barrels and everything like that. So it is a bit like the Division.
Ooh, yeah.
You get dot sights and stuff
Chop and
depending on the
change.
class. Yeah, exactly. There's a sniper rifle kind of unlocked, various types of rifles depending on your class, because you get like you're either a rifle and a close quarter combat weapon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So certain classes can only use certain things. I tried out the grenade launcher. It wasn't quite as satisfying. I've tried out a minigun. Had a little bit of a start up, but I've gone back to just the default pulse rifle with extensions and smart gun. You
Underbarrel grenade launcher, right there.
Yeah,
You've got to have the underbarrel grenade launcher.
No grenade launcher on the pulse rifle. I don't know whether that's unlockable yet. I've not played enough.
It feels like you should, just from Aliens itself, you know. I mean,
know.
whoa.
However, you do get a
Or did
shoulder
you gaffer tape that on?
You do get a shoulder launched rocket launcher, so it kind of makes you feel a little bit like Predator.
Oh, that'll do. That'll do.
So you can kind of like just send this barrage down, and if you get certain stacks of killing certain numbers, you unlock like an extra ability. So there's something like clear the room, where it will just launch loads out and stuff like that. And it's one of those games where it feels quite fun, and you're a bit cautious because you've got these 2 bots with you in the one player, and it's a bit like you're a bit more dreaded. But the moment you team up, because I've played it with one of my siblings. The moment you team up with a mate, you throw a bit more caution to the wind and sort of run in there, and the 2 of you are like going, because there's like shitloads of xenomorphs everywhere.
You know, you're playing this on PlayStation, I believe. PlayStation 4 performs nicely, looks good.
Performs nicely. I've noticed 1 or 2 little bugs. There is a bit right at the start where you're entering another room where the sound cuts out just for a moment. And I think that's just like a little glitch that made it across.
Oh, to be fair, with new games, I didn't actually go into the bugginess on the Far Cry side of things. There's crashes, bugs. These happen.
I've played a few. You get quite a few different classes of aliens as well. You get the runners, sort of Alien Freestyle, and they're the main ones that come at you and do little swipes. You get spitters that are like, they've got longer tails, and they sit back and launch sort of acid bombs at you. Acid actually hurts. Acid actually takes damage off you. If you kill a xenomorph, it takes a tiny bit of health off. And the more you up the difficulty, the more that takes off.
Right.
So you're mowing down.
Have you died much?
Yes. Even on casual, you'll get murdered. And I was going to say, and then you get, even in the first couple of missions, you get the warrior class one, which is basically like the first alien. So this big 7-8 foot tall mother that
bitch.
just pounds in. You've also got the motion tracker in the corner, so you can tell when they're coming. And if you've got headphones on, man, that really gets your anxiety going, because you go into a room and you can hear it. And you're not quite sure where they're coming on from, because when they're just out of range, you get the area light up, and then you see the dots start appearing as they come closer, and they start making their way around.
I've not picked up my PlayStation much recently. I just double-checked. Sadly, it's not cross-play, although in a way, possibly good. I've still got PS Plus, so I can do online gaming. I bought a projector recently, which I've barely used, but I think lights out, big projector screen drop down, headset on. I think I may have to purchase this and hop in and join you, Mr. Hurley. Because
it's a bit more. It's a bit more.
I may poo myself though.
It's like 35 quid. It's 35 quid, which I think is a little bit. I don't want to say a little bit more than I think should be spent. But I think, to be honest, the way games are now, why not? I think it's a lot of fun. And as the missions go on, and also you get...
the thing is, it'll drop in one special. It'll be 15 quid soon. But at the same time, if you guys are actually ready to play it fairly soon, it sounds like 3 players is the right way to do it.
Yeah.
And I take it,
I'm happy
if you don't play together as a regular team, can you hop in and redo the missions together? You know, how would that work? I mean,
it's easy. You just send an invite. Send an invite. Between each mission, you can go back to base as well.
Yeah.
So each chapter's got like little submissions kind of in it as well, and you can return back to base at any time and invite. I think you can invite people in once you're back in the base and stuff like that. So it's fairly easy to set up.
I think I might have a
I
look
picked
for
this
this.
up when you said you got it.
Yeah.
We just haven't got around to it. Comms on it are really easy as well. I just plug my Samsung.
Can I just point out very quickly? I've just googled it. You can pick it up for £22.99 from Curry's.
Yeah.
£20.85 from JX Deals. So you can pick it up for £20, which to me feels like worth a punt. And I think I'm going to. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we'll have to sort out a day.
Yeah. No, definitely. I'll be up for
It'll
it.
be difficult to fit it around my own multiplayer arrangements, but we'll get to that.
Well, if it's one we can do casually, drop in,
it's
drop out.
It's one of those games where you'll play it and you will get swamped and you will die because it's the nature of the game. And as you go into different missions, and it's like, oh, bastard, we'll try that one again and stuff like that. You know, it's just one of those things. And as you put the difficulty up, team damage comes on, which is kind of the reason why for putting. Yeah,
that's
so
fine.
there's a
Just
reason
don't play with Americans.
Trust me, it gets difficult to not shoot the other person.
I just alienated
when you're literally doing your impression of.
So, do you need a full squad to kick off a game, or does it put a bot in there?
No,
or is it just two
put
of
a bot in if there's just two.
And are the bots
How are
basically
the bots?
shit?
Are
Yeah,
they any good?
Are pretty good. They're pretty accurate. I'm not amazing at these games, but yeah, they do kill things. So
right, you're not just carrying them, and they're not just carrying you. They feel like something.
They've killed quite a few that I haven't seen until they've been pretty close to me and stuff.
Well, I've just ordered the game. I paid £23 for it, and I could have gone cheaper, but I went for Curry's PC World, who I trust. Well, it's just Curry's now. They've rebranded. But yeah.
I'm looking
at
forward to seeing what else comes along because I've played a couple more of the further missions.
Yeah,
and I just think it's a lot of fun. I mean, it
How many
reminds
missions
me
are
of
we talking?
Huh?
How many missions are we talking?
I don't know. I think in the first one you've got. I don't know. It could be.
I'll Google it. Don't worry.
I'm not sure, to be
It
honest.
doesn't really matter too much. Just wondered how big a game we're talking about.
The thing is, I find with these things, it's how long per mission when you're playing multiplayer is much of the trick. There can be a ton of content, or there can be the same ones where you can throw in variables.
I went into the first. I think there was 4 blocks where you look at
12,
them, and the other 3. Yeah, so it might be
30 minutes a pop. That's pretty good.
That feels about right for a co-op thing, because after 30 minutes, some person needs a wee, some person needs to go and check on the children, some person needs to do this, that. So yeah, I think anything more than 30 intense minutes on a multiplayer, it gets a bit messy. So yeah,
it's a bit mad as well because they kind of change up, and it's one of those games where if you go, once you've cleared a room. And normally in the game, it's like, the room's clear, let's move on. You move on, one person goes, hang on, I'm going to go back to an ammo crate, because the ammo crates are infinite, and you can
and
keep
the motion detector goes,
and then
ding,
you go back in, and
ding.
it goes, no, this is aliens.
Right.
You move on, you come back, you're going to have to deal with more of these.
No, it sounds pretty good for it's not a full price game.
No.
Yeah.
But that's a reasonable amount of content.
I think it's perfect for a laugh. If you like aliens, and you like shooters, and you like a bit of fun, I think it's great.
It sounds like a fun way to...
If you don't like it, I think you've missed the point of the game.
For me, I bought it for 20 quid on disc.
To remedy, yeah.
If I don't like it,
it goes a long way to remedy
Colonial
Marines.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. So, Rob, you talking of online, very reasonably priced multiplayer games where you kill classic enemies, you, I believe, have been playing the remake of Bubble Bobble.
That's right,
hang
Back
on.
for Blood.
Right, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. No, it's pretty much Left 4 Dead, which I think is what you meant. So Game Pass has basically taken over my life. They keep putting really good stuff on there. And this is day one, brand new game. Otherwise, it's 50, 60 quid to buy. But for $7.99 a month, thank you very much. I will play it.
Yeah, that sub's got to go up soon. Apparently,
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah.
Apparently, they're
it's
missing their
difficult
targets.
figures.
They're missing their sales targets, even at that price. So we'll see where this goes.
Well, I've been playing it, and I think like it's going to be a fairly regular thing now because I know quite a few people who have it.
I had a quick dabble. It's fun. The
yeah.
shooting's good. The graphics are nice, and I can imagine balance patches and tweaks and changes will be made constantly because this is a big deal. This game.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about length there, and that sort of demonstrates the difference. This has got probably.
It's not all about length. Sometimes it's down to depth, Rob.
Yeah. No, it's got because I was quite interested in how long the game would last for, but there's 4 acts, and each one of them has about 10 missions, so it's quite significant.
Girthy.
Yeah, not all the missions are that long, but they're really well structured.
Yeah.
You have your usual sort of just going along for a predetermined sort of route, but the maps are nicely expansive. There's plenty of scope for sort of rummaging around, finding things. There's different objectives. I think there used to be in Left 4 Dead the original. There was a special achievement you got for carrying a garden gnome from one end of the game to the other.
Well, I appreciate a bit of absurdity like that. Yep.
Yeah, well, you had to keep setting the gnome down and not to forget to bring it with you.
So can I ask you a question? Actually, sorry, the game's interesting. I don't know if you know the story because I don't. So I know this is the spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead, but I'm assuming is this the developers that did Left 4 Dead, or maybe a bunch of developers who can no longer be associated with that studio? Why is this spiritual successor for Left 4 Dead not called Left 4 Dead? That's my question. Do you know? Otherwise, I'll probably Google it.
Publisher owns the name.
I think basically, I don't know if this is 100% accurate, but I think it's something like, without googling it, I think it's something like the team that built Left 4 Dead were acquired by Valve.
Right, it was Valve. Yes, okay.
Yeah, they got a bit fucked off with making endless Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
Or just Valve being like, we can't be asked to publish games anymore.
Yeah.
So they went off and formed a thing called Turtle Rock or something.
Right, and they couldn't take the name.
Or Turtle Bay Studios, and then they created that Evolve game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, that was so ambitious. That was the first. Yeah, but the thing is, that was the one that led to things like the Nightmare at Elm Street and the Friday the 13th and all that stuff. This sort of the 1v4, the 1v5. Evolve was the first one of those. It just wasn't quite.
That game was like
Rock.
a sacrificial. That game was like a sacrificial lamb, basically.
Yes, but it was a brave attempt, badly executed, but it was brave. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was good though.
Right.
So,
you help me understand now. Cool.
And so after that sort of slight tragedy, they've just gone, let's just do what we know. So,
let's make the game that made us money in the first place. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. So, you've got the AI director. There are difficulty levels, but the AI director that was famous in Left 4 Dead basically allows the game to sort of respond to how well you're doing. Okay. So if you're doing a bit too well, it will throw more zombies at you.
And if you're really struggling, it'll chuck you a frickin' bone. That sounds kind.
But it's great because they're just the waves and waves of zombies that come at you. You know, I'm standing there with a baseball bat just fucking having it. But,
yes, I must admit, I selected the player that mostly swings a baseball bat. And then you switch to a shotgun, and you can pick up all the different weapons and bits and pieces. And yes, I had quite a nice time just playing through on my own with bots through the intro. I can see that this game can be fun. It throws.
Yeah, they're not bad actually. They do come and get you when you fall over. They do come and help you,
and you feel like a badass, don't you? Because the amount of cannon fodder zombies it feeds to you, you feel like you're like, smash their heads, and then this big bloaty thing comes up, or this big tall, gangly, screamy, messy zombie thing. There were loads of them, but yes, I felt like I felt capable. I didn't feel over challenged, but at the same time, I felt under threat. So
Yeah, but there's plenty of variety. You never, since I've been playing, I never feel there's always some sort of angle. Like, there'll be like mist, so draw distance is very small. There's some excellent like finales to each act or each little chapter. One of which involves going to a place. I'll be as vague as possible. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, set pieces type.
It was
jobs,
such a revelation. but you basically go to a place and you have to turn a thing on to create some
Rob,
sort
you're
of
spoiling
distraction.
it now.
I'm being vague as possible here.
And I'm being
Basic
sarcastic and
mechanics.
feasible.
Okay, sorry, I didn't detect your sarcasm over the Skype.
Just assume sarcasm, honestly. Just assume it.
Yeah. So you have to turn a thing on to act as a distraction in the story of the campaign. There is actually a campaign going on.
Yep.
That you can follow if you want, and they've licensed some music and lots of it, so it's different every time, but has the same effect. And you're basically sort of like, as soon as you turn this device on, I'm giving it away probably, but anyway, you have to basically hold the fort for a certain amount of time, and there's everything coming in at you,
it's the classic. Yeah, go there, activate a thing, hit the button, defend the place until the thing has gone up to 100%. Next thing, I mean, I've done plenty of them in Far Cry today. Go in here quietly, sneak in, hack the computer. Oh, I've hacked the computer. It's detected. The alarm's gone off. There's helicopters. There's tanks. There's soldados.
Yeah,
it's fine. We're comfortable.
Or there
with
might be there are some objectives where you'll have to do a thing, and there's a time limit, and it's always right down to the wire because the AI is constantly trying to fuck with you and creating suspense, which is great in a game like this, especially when you're playing alongside chums. Speaking of the Game Pass thing, I've actually invested in a new headset because I wanted one wireless one.
Yep.
And that actually comes with a discount on Game Pass. I was like, I'm having that then.
Yeah, well,
so I forget the make of it. But,
I like to think that Rob's paid an extra £50 for the headset that comes with the Game Pass discount of like £10 a month. But
I could have got a cheaper headset for sure.
I like to think that Rob doesn't do maths.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I basically go off what recommendations. I know I should. Do
I
more
recommend
maths.
you
I'll
do
be
the
better at my
maths.
job. Yeah, I know I'm shit. Oh, discount, wicked. Yeah.
If I pay an extra £50, I can save £30. Yes.
But it is the headset that Wirecut are recommended. I always go by what they say.
Wirecut. Oh, I'm assuming this is a wireless headset site of some sort. I mean, I've got Wirecutters,
No, they're
but
just product reviews, but they aggregate all of the product reviews and sort of make a sort of assessment. It's pretty good.
You see, you're a Metacritic fan. I have a number of trusted sites and I go to them. Yeah,
but this doesn't give it a score. It just looks at all of the products and then goes, we tried these, and this is the one we think. Anyway, I'm digressing.
Wirecutter. Sorry, I need a specific thing. I'll have a look.
All right. So Wirecutter, now I'm talking about that. Fucking hell, beer. Back for Blood is good. It's exactly what it says on the tin. There are a couple of other little wrinkles, actually. There's like this deck building mechanic. So you find them in the world.
You could put on a card modifier against it, so you can say, this round I'm going to double my grenade damage and actually be more susceptible to explosions as well. There's nothing new here. But
it really does make a difference. And also the characters that you select, because I've been playing as Mom, and Mom is this hard-ass woman.
I'm sorry. You're just going to have to call her Mum. We're English here, dear boy.
It's spelled M-O-M.
I don't care. It's not like if a thing is made of aluminium, we're going to call it aluminum because that's how Americans do it. Okay, I tell you, if it was a character called Aluminum, would you call him Aluminum or Nuclear?
Maybe. I don't know.
You're so easily led,
Depends
Rob.
what accent I have.
What if his name was Aluminum, the Aluminium Man?
Could you do it if it was a German accent? Would you call it aluminum or aluminium?
I don't know.
Call her Mutti.
Say that word. I probably wouldn't even say that word.
Mutter.
Mutti.
Mutti.
Okay, this has gotten very weird.
I like to kill the zombies with Mutti.
So you're listening to the last Not Playing podcast.
No, but so I'm playing this character called Mom, or Mum, if you like, if you're English. And basically, like, she heals really quickly. So if load her up with defensive cards, it really makes a difference. There's also a really good one where it actually makes your melee attack. You can have a knife, which is really good for when people get stuck by those slime dudes.
Yeah, my mum's the same.
And you can get rid of them really quickly. So I've been playing like a bit of a support healer role, and you can actually really define your role if you like playing in a certain way.
Yeah.
So I think that is like a totally legit addition.
It sounds like a new thing to that game. It's awesome. But I play an awful lot of Overwatch. I play tank. I get in the front. I take damage. I try to deal some out. I've got DPS behind me, and I've got the supports nearby. Supports at the back row, DPS behind the tanks. I'm there. I'm front row. I'm scrum. I might not be a hooker, but I'm at least a prop. And people that don't get rugby are probably wondering what that means.
Yeah,
but I'm not a real hooker.
That something to do with rugby.
Too tall.
He's just a prop.
I'm too tall to be a hooker.
I guess.
Okay.
I don't know rugby. I haven't. My sport knowledge hasn't extended to that yet.
I'm feeling I'm a bit chaotic neutral today.
I'm just like really tired and want to play Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, on the basis,
But
look,
anyway.
I've talked my game. Marcus has talked his game. You've talked your game. You're going to play some Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm going to finish Far Cry off soon, and next episode we can have a proper Guardians of the Galaxy chat, and hopefully go a bit more in depth on Aliens Fireteam, because I'm pulling the trigger on that bad boy.
I didn't want to give it too much away on it. You mentioned challenge cards, and the challenge cards in there are more sabotaging. They're more to give you more rewards, but they give you things to overcome. Because I put one on, and it was your gun will start jamming at random moments.
Yeah.
And it's only and you only stop that by manually reloading. And I thought, there's only going to be a couple of times. And I'm literally staring down the barrel at this swarm coming towards me. And it goes, click,
You're ruining my life!
Reload!
Yeah.
Click, click, a couple of rounds.
Yeah,
I like the idea of that. So it ups it up, but it really... Thing is, it's always this case. It's the game is going to stay about the similar difficulty. This bit's going to get easier. In exchange, we make this bit harder. And sometimes you kind of go, that's an easy trade, always an even trade, definitely. And sometimes you go...
You can turn all that off as well.
Ridiculous.
You can choose not to activate them at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
the in Back for Blood, they have like the sort of positive cards that you acquire, and the sort of negative effect or challenge cards as well, which I think they have like abstracted and made you see how each campaign mission is sort of modified with those.
Yeah.
The idea being, I think, that you can create your own custom challenges.
Nice.
If you can be asked.
So I'd be up for Back for Blood as well. Because I didn't play the second Left 4 Dead, but I really loved the first one. I played that on PC a lot back in the day.
I got sucked into both over the years.
I had the Simon Pegg mod for
that
the
was
guy
Valve.
in the shirt.
Yeah, when I played Valve, to me it was always Counter... At that point, I had a friend who played Left 4 Dead, but I just played Counter-Strike along those at that time. Online, first-person shooter. Was Left 4 Dead third-person then? Sorry, yeah. Okay, was that first-person then?
All the Left 4 Dead games have been first-person.
Okay, but Back for Blood's third. No, it's not.
No.
Aliens Fireteam's third. Sorry,
Yeah.
Shut up, Will.
I just wanted to quickly mention Avengers, right? Because and the fact that just briefly, right? Because they put this on Game Pass and they have tweaked it slightly. They've added more microtransactions and slowed down the leveling to accommodate this. That's the catch. But I don't really care because it's not really impacted the game for me at all. It's a bit weird. It's got all of the characters in that you would expect. The storyline is a bit unexpected. The fact that the voice acting is not or the likenesses are not the people we know from the films, that was much easier to get over than I expected because they're all good voice actors. Like Hulk is matey from Last of Us, and Iron Man is dude from Uncharted.
It's Troy Baker and the other one. It's those two.
Yeah,
those two.
them. So
And Nolan North turns up somewhere.
That's it. Nolan North and Troy Backer. Yeah. Thank you.
That's it. Yeah, well done. Thank you. But the actual beginning of the campaign, or the soul of it, I suppose, is through the eyes of this character, Ms. Marvel, who has these really humorous, gigantic, stretchy limbs. The actual gameplay is a lot more. There's a lot more exploration and jumping about and mansling around than I expected, but it's not quite as dialed in as stuff like the Sony first-party games. Obviously, I mean, I'm playing this with everything cranked to the max. It runs fine. There's no ray tracing. It's a bit before that. But Hulk smashy, lots of level bits falling about. Very impressive. You do feel like you're pummeling the shit out of the the environments. And also, I've only played like Thor and Black Widow in the intro prologue bit. Then there's a bit of a time jump, and you're sort of assembling the team again. But I did play as Iron Man, and that's pretty cool. The way they've done all.
Talk to me about the upgrade path, because this is the bit that bugs me. Right, it's not like if you're playing Hulk, you don't get better armor or anything. You just get these gems that make you more powerful. It doesn't work, does it? It's shit.
You don't. Yeah, all like the armor stuff is bollocks. You just hold down a button and it will say equip best.
Yeah.
I don't really understand what that's for. I think it's just like a flashy light that they want you to put money into. But the actual XP translates into skills, and there are skill trees. I've only got through a bit of them because, like I say, they have actually slowed it down. But it unlocks combos.
Slow it down, sell the speed up. Does sound deeply, horribly cynical to me. Not with a barge pole.
But it's I've got to the point now where I can call other players into my missions that I'm doing. So that's nice. If my mate Ant's playing it, he's not a big hardcore gamer, and he's quite enjoying it.
Yeah.
I think I would be annoyed if I'd paid full price for this, but as a extra pack in on Game Pass, I'm like,
yeah,
I'll
give
be
it a
honest,
go.
if you've got a friend you can play with, these things are always better. I game at times of day that a lot of people are online. In fact, none of my 3 or 4 overall online friends are ever online at the times I game.
no.
Evenings I spend with my wife. Daytime I spend a combination of working and gaming. And then the rest is a bonus time. But yeah, I don't get to play these online games too much. So an idea of going through that single player fills me with dread.
It's not hugely long from my understanding, but it is kind of aggressive in its sort of, you want to buy something, don't you? Even the single player campaign is off to the side, and you have to scroll through all of the new ones, or scroll the right way instead of the wrong way.
Yeah.
But it's very easy to have to scroll through all the Wakanda edition and all that to get to the actual your single player game.
Payscape, isn't
Cool.
it? Pay curtains and stuff.
All right,
Yeah,
so seeing as we're coming towards about an hour length, and to facilitate your wrap up so that you can move on to the thing I'm about to say, but how does that feel against Guardians of the Galaxy? You've done 45 minutes. Has it tried to sell you anything?
Well, I'll say first of all, before the reviews come out, I was warming to the idea of getting Guardians based on my time with Avengers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because there was already enough that I liked about it. I was like, well, if that's that, but without all this bollocks,
Yeah,
then
if it's
I'm
single
definitely
player,
sold.
yeah, if it's basically these good bits without trying to fleece me. Yeah?
Yeah. So already, I think I've just got to look something up very quickly.
Okay, we Marcus and I will sing the songs of our people while you do that. Hold a hold,
Yeah, right.
hold a roll. No, look, we have to
just wanted to
finish
check
one who
something.
started, Rob. Hold a roll.
Okay.
Sorry, go on.
So, okay, so I've played 45 minutes of Guardians, and I won't spoil a thing, but it starts off in a sort of bit of a prologue-y bit, and you're just walking around Star-Lord's bedroom, and it's just got so many things that I love. It's by Eidos Montreal, right?
Yeah.
So
The Tomb Raider
this is
stuff
the
was
company-
good. Yeah, they set the scene.
Yeah, that was that was founded by the guys that created the Steve Jackson books. So there's lots of little cool references.
Hang on. The Steve Jackson...
Ian Livingstone.
Ian Livingstone, that's Steve Jackson.
Yeah, Ian Livingstone was the founder of Eidos, I believe.
Oh, well, that's fascinating. So we're taking this right back to Warlock Mountain.
Yeah, like that really punched me in the heart, and I'm like, and they're playing. He's listening to heavy metal, and it's like he's got a Flying V guitar in his room.
I'm gonna have to dig into that bit. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'll tell you what. You know what, Rob? I'm going to stop you here. Do you know why I'm going to stop you here? Because next time we record, I would like to have a proper mutual geek out, if that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And there was also one little. I'm not going to talk about the game anymore.
Okay.
But it's by the guys that. It's just because it's fresh in my memory, and I won't remember this when we come back to it. But it's also it's created by Eidos Montreal are the guys that made Deus Ex, and there was even a little Deus Ex Easter egg in there for me.
Trouble is, he says Deus Ex. I mean, I often enjoy a Nitus Ex, but
because I was very upset. Do you remember me saying
the missus isn't up for it because the kids are around during the day?
Yeah, it's these weird hours you keep. But do you remember me? And you know what? I
wouldn't mind a bloody hour of sex. Anyway, sorry.
I won't tell you what this Easter egg was, but that one thing alone has completely put to bed my issue with that company being taken off of Deus Ex and put on this Marvel project.
Come on then.
And I won't explain what it is.
Oh.
Maybe it's like a good faith Easter egg that they haven't forgotten the IP.
It's a number that is known, and it has carried on through all of the immersive games, BioShock, all of them.
It's 118, 118.
Number in there. Nah. You'll know it when you get
it ain't 42, because that'd be too obvious. It's the most famous number in the world. 69, dudes.
And that's what I just had to look up, because when I did it, when I saw it, I was like, have they done that as a bit of a apology, like wink, wink, sort of,
which is nice.
We kind of had to do it because Square bought the Marvel license and we weren't allowed to do anything else.
Awesome sauce. No, I must admit, I'm really excited. I'm looking forward. I'm really excited that I'm approaching the end game of Far Cry 6, which I'm having a wonderful time with, and I'm absolutely delighted that we're going to have a few weeks for me to really get to grips with Guardians, hopefully possibly finish it, and next time we record, we'll have that. I'm also actually genuinely looking forward to playing a bit of Fireteam with you boys and seeing what other news and awesome stuff comes in. So this is cool. This is nice. God, I'm in a funny mood today. I don't know if it shows.
Yeah, it's a very pink game, at least at the moment.
Awesome. Colour.
My only other slight issue is that Star-Lord and Rocket's voices sound quite similar. So I'm not quite keyed into who's talking sometimes.
Give it time, we'll see. But yeah, I will listen out for that and let you know.
Thanks for listening to the Not Playing Podcast, part of the Not Listening Podcast Network, where you can also find the Not Watching Podcast, where we talk about movies and TV, and the Not Listening Podcast, where you can hear Adam and Co talk about all kinds of nonsensical nonsense. You can email us at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can tweet at or follow us on Twitter at notplayingpod. You can find the show notes for all our shows at notlistening.co.uk, and if you like what you've heard here, please do leave us a review. Anyway, that's all for now. Until next time, bye! I suck at Call of Duty.